Hi, my name is Skylar. I am 14 and I have fetal alcohol syndrome. When I was, I have self-stimulatory behaviors. I have sensory processing disorder, anxiety, depression, ADHD, and just a bunch of stuff. It's all crazy, but FAS is my main one that I have to deal with. When I was born, I weighed 1 pound 6 ounces, and I was born at 23 weeks. I experienced a lot of trauma. When I was a baby, I had 4 surgeries, a heart surgery, I had 2 hernia surgeries, and a laser eye surgery. At age 3, my brain was very immature. I wasn't speaking full sentences until I was about 3 and a half. Finally, when I was 10 years old, the day before my 11th birthday, I went to a doctor that diagnosed me with fetal alcohol syndrome. I had to go through all kinds of tests that got me my diagnosis. When I got the results back, and they told me I had FAS and what it was, and I didn't know how to react. I just remember sitting there in shock, just like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? I now like having FAS because it has turned me into an amazing person. I make my own clothes. I like to decorate my FAS facial features. I don't try to hide them. I like to decorate them with makeup. And I love my FAS, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's how Skylar feels. We've been working with her. We just became her caretakers 3 months ago.
If you can't.
Because she was living with her dad, originally with her mom. Her mom is an alcoholic and has been an alcoholic all her life. And Skylar was born at 23 weeks, and the doctor said, let her go. And she considered just to hold her, love her, and we were there. My husband and I were there. Obviously, the mother. She was in the facility at that point. She was in the Hope House for recovering alcoholics. And shortly after, the parents did divorce, and the dad has custody. Yeah. So Skylar's had a rough life. No one wanted to admit there was something wrong with her
because my preschool teacher was like, "Oh, we don't want to be labeled and all that."
Birth to 3 said, "We can't do that."
She's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with her. She's just being a kid.
So obviously, as she was growing, we knew that there was something. She did things like stimming, which no one knew what stimming was, and she still stims to this day.
What is stimming?
It's like I feel. You know how those back massager things with that vibrate? It's like that, but all over my body, except less vibration, more tingling in my body. And I can feel the tingling go all the way around my head, and I might get a burst of energy. I just have to run around. It's kind of weird because every time, like before I shower, I would stim, and I run around. I get all my energy out, and it's kind of embarrassing at school because kids would be like, "Why do you do that? That's kind of weird." I'd be like, well, it's just a part of me, and I'm not going to change who I am just because of what you say.
Skylar's had a hard time in school. She does have an IEP. We finally did get an IEP 2 years ago, and last year she got a para, so she has someone with her. at school, which this helps some. But the kids obviously are cruel, so we have issues there because no one really wants to deal with it. Ozaukee County is Shishi County, as I call it, and people hide it. They don't want it out that they have alcohol problems. That's just not Ozaukee County. But we managed to get her all the services. My son had her tested, came to the Weissman Center. He went on to the national site, and he called them, and they said, "Oh, how close do you need medicine?" And of course, it's only an hour and a half or 45 minutes, so he came up here and met with Dr. I think it's Goldstein, and she also was semi-diagnosed at Marquette University because they had a little seminar going on. And
I had to do all these tests, and it was all, when they did the computer and I had to press the space bar when I saw a number or a letter, I got really overstimulated. I got stressed.
She does stress easily, and that's, I guess it's just part of her. And if you tell her something, you don't tell her once, you have to tell her 500 times. Then she might get it.
Yeah.
You know, pick up your clothes, pick up your clothes, pick up your clothes. Practice your cello, practice your cello. So we're doing well. Skylar hasn't had a tantrum since she came to us to live in our home. But she was not prone to having tantrums when she spent, like the weekends we go to our lake house, and she didn't have problems. And I could never understand. I would say to my son, you know, she doesn't do that when she's just with us. So this summer, because Skylar was having tantrums up until the middle of July, she was taken out of the family home. And they asked if we would take her.
And the tantrums were getting worse.
And they were bad.
More violent.
I mean, we've got holes in, they moved into a new home. She put a hole in the wall. Who's counting? She was violent for a period, and I'm going to say, because we all lived together for 4 years.
I would tantrum for 3 hours or more. One time I tantrum for 6 hours.
We just didn't know what to do. I mean, sure, she was getting IEP at school, and she was getting everything that she needed, seeing the psychiatrist and the psychologist and the behavioral person, but all of a sudden now we're seeing a big turnaround. So we're hoping that, you know, at some point she'll go back and live with her dad and stepmother and sister. She has an older sister.
Which has helped me a lot. I mean, I love, like, remember at the restaurant when she actually sat by me? I felt like I was going to cry because that was amazing. That was, like, important to me because she's like, ew, get away.
But they do love each other. And then there's a set of twins. Her half-siblings are going to be 6. And that was part of why she came to us, because this little girl of the twins was picking up Skylar's behaviors. And that wasn't going to fly with the stepmom. There wasn't any way. So, and I said from the day she was born, because we didn't want her to be held and die. The exact day, on July 14th. I said to my son and daughter-in-law, I said, Dad and I will take her if you don't want to care for her. So lo and behold, 14 years later,
I survived.
She survived, and she's not with us. So that's Skylar's story in a nutshell.
See if we can capture all the good stuff you told us so that we can help other people. And Sid, I don't know, did you want to chime in on any of this?
Not really.
Okay, but if we look for some more examples that can go on the board here. So which board should we start with, Skylar? What was the most important thing that was helpful to you? Getting a diagnosis. Let me give you some choices. Getting a diagnosis, having your family get more, what? Being around you and all your family members being helpful. School.
In a way, it's kind of art for me. Like
art?
I express myself.
Okay.
And
Yep. Nope, I'm gonna need you. There you go. We got a place for it. All right. So how have you found ways to, like you do it at home, you have classes? How do you do your art?
Like, I don't take classes, but I'll just be drawing on a piece of paper, or I will be drawing with chalk, and I'll just do whatever pops into my mind as inspirational.
So that helps you because it calms you down, or
Yeah.
okay, focuses you. Does it also help your self-esteem?
Yeah.
Does it help you make friends?
I have some friends. I mean, I just have issues keeping them. That's a huge issue.
Okay. So does art have anything to do with other people, or just
It has to do with people.
you do it with other people?
Well, I don't. I just do it on my own, and I just share it with people. And I'm starting to make quotes for my special needs teacher's classroom to put on her walls.
There's ways that you can contribute.
Yeah, and I'm making a sensory room in one of the rooms at school. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like overnight she just blossomed.
Overnight.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, her quotes are really, really good.
My brain is like a puzzle, except some of the pieces are missing.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And she also got up in front of her class and explained to them what she had.
And because
why
they were making fun of the facial features of FAS, because one kid did a presentation. So I was like, I turned around and I was like, that's actually really offensive, especially to someone that has it. And I also feel like, because people are saying some bad things, only the bad challenges about FASD, and it's like, there's some positive sides too, and I feel because I was hurt once people started saying bad stuff about FASD, so I was like, I don't want people with FASD get themselves down because of what people are saying on the internet or what they're saying to their face or whatever.
So that feels good. You can speak out about what you think and feel about.
Yeah.
Something that's about something you have.
I just don't want people to be brought down like I was. I mean, I was totally hurt when people were saying terrible stuff about FASD, and I really didn't like it.
She's become her own advocate.
Maybe you can write that down as a strategy that will help other people.
Well, what I learned is they can be very caring and friendly. They don't judge people. I mean, I don't judge people, whether they have a disability or not. I don't judge anyone. It's a really good feeling, and yeah. Yeah.
How did you come to know so much about how did you know?
Let's just say I have a Chromebook using for school, and I go on that. Google search. Kids at school always say Google Translate. Yeah. And it's like, how does that have to do with anything like health?
She does know a lot about it. It's just amazing. She researches a lot.
Like, more than 630,000 people get diagnosed with FASD a year.
And Skylar's done remarkably well, and I think she's going to She's going to go the whole distance. We want her to go to college because she can do it. She's made the honors roll the last couple of years at school.
All 4 quarters last year. I'd have to say, well, Mr. Mack, which is my para, he is a lifesaver to me. He, like, helps me throughout the day, like, so I don't have to go to the counseling corner. Like, he would help me with my work, and he's just really fun. And it helps me a lot to know someone that actually will help. Like, teachers, I feel, don't they don't really know FASD. Like, I gave one of my special ed teachers a book that it was called Including Students with Special Needs, and it had a section for FAS. And yeah, she read it, and I think she's starting to understand. It's gonna take it's like a whole process for people to understand. My dad sent some papers with me to take to school the first day last year. So then he started learning about it.
She has an IEP. She's on social service, through social services. Skylar's on Medicaid because of, I'm not sure if, no, I think the para is through the school because we had an issue getting it at first. Because my son was asking for her to have a para several years ago, and it was always out of the question. And Skylar was out of control at school also for a while there, and she was dumping desks. In our case, I think the fact that no one could control Skylar, and yet she could do so much stuff. So she needed somebody there with her. If she could have a dog, she'd have the dog there, and she would be fine. Yeah, we had and that our behavioral person helped us with. So, no, it's a private. Social services paying for her. Yes.